If you would please pass out that handout. And I did not think far enough ahead. I was supposed to grab one as I walked in, so I also missed one. But if you look over your left shoulder, or if you came in a little bit later, in our back corner, we have a brand new thing. So Joe, if I could grab one of those. I'm not going to borrow it. I'm not even going to give it back. So you have the big picture of what we are hoping to have. So if you grab this, a big piece of paper, and you hold it up to the wall, really close to your face, you're going to see how this whole thing is going to come together. We have our brand new banner that's already hung up in the very, very back. And it is inspired on all the things that God talks about on so many pages of Scripture. God is so excited about hanging out with us forever that when you go to the end of the New Testament, all those books that you'll never name a kid after, Haggai, Obadiah, right? All those books, at the end of almost all of them, he's bragging about how excited he is about your forever home and how he's just going to make this all a forever reality for us. So even in the Old Testament, God is excited about this. And then when Jesus comes along, he gets even more excited and tells us about feasting and hanging out and being reunited with the people who have come before us. And then the last book of the Bible to be given to us, dictated by Jesus and some angels to the Apostle John as part of one big revelation. The last book of the Bible, in the year 96, Jesus gave us the fullest picture of paradise. We see heaven, but also paradise. Now, heaven is what happens when you die. So like if I die by the end of the service is going to be really short. Somebody say something witty and inspiring and then say amen. And then people go, well, hey, I wonder what that guy's going to do next week. Service is pretty short today. Okay, that's kind of funny. Late service people will laugh at it because they'll be more awake. But if I died right now, my body would be here, right? Have the funeral and then cremate me. And like you promised, have me in the altar up there so I'm in church every Sunday because I don't want to miss. I want to keep my perfect attendance. And my soul, though, body will be here. My soul will be in heaven. This is where God is, and we're going to be hanging out. And, you know, you won't be like a floating cloud like, hey, Dad. Hey, Grandpa. Hey, neighbor. Oh, there's God. Oh, okay, I'm looking in a different direction. It's not going to be like that. In a spirit realm, like a spirit dimension is the best way we can describe it, you'll be able to like walk up, right? So I'll be hanging out and I'll just be like, you know, talking to people and just kind of catching up on things that happened, things I didn't know, right? Like if Abraham Lincoln is there, I'll be able to talk to him and go, oh. Do you want to know what happened at the end of the play? Is that too soon? Too soon. Okay. You know, I'll be able to say, you have no idea the impact that you had. He goes, oh, okay, well, you know, you're like the 9,000th person to tell me. But it's heaven, so I would love to hear it. How did I impact you, right? And then I'd look up to him. I don't know, we'll probably be the same size because it'll be an evening out. But we'll be able to like hang out and talk and have these conversations. But then when other people come along, right? So like Nate, you're probably going to outlive me, probably, right? So then Nate walked, you know, when Nate arrives, we'll be like, Nate, how's it going? And he'd be like, it's pretty good. Well, you know, it'll be Nate. It's pretty good. Bro, it's heaven. We made it. And because you're Nate, you'll be like, it's nice. And I'll say, did they put my body in the altar? And they'll be like, no, they stuffed it and put you in the parking lot. But, you know, we'll be able to like kind of catch up on all these things. But and as cool as that is, man, no one's going to get cancer. No one's going to stub their toes. No one's going to have like a food poisoning. As great as that's going to be, God has something so much better for us. And that is paradise. That is heaven on earth. That is new world. And that starts when Jesus shows up. And when Jesus shows up, we get our bodies back. We're alive. And we get to physically enjoy paradise. Right? We won't just be like floating around like, hey, Marilyn, how's it going? It's pretty good. We'll actually have our bodies. So everything we're going to talk about today and the next 5 Sundays is not just word pictures, right? It's not when we're talking about the feast that you'll say, oh, it's like we'll never have hunger again. You know, like there'll be no more hunger because we'll be truly spiritual. No, it's you're going to have like sharp cheddar cheese, even if you're allergic to it. Sharp cheddar cheese with like no allergies. You'll be able to have ice cream and not have to wonder where those calories are going to pop up, right? You'll be able to run 7 miles and say, man, that was easy. I'm just going to keep on going because it's no hard deal. Physically, you'll be you without any of your limitations and without any of the risks and without any of the dangers and without having to take any of your medicine or have to worry about if you have enough calcium or if your body has enough zinc or iron or whatever thing is going to happen. And you'll never have to worry about anything, and that's forever. And it all starts today because we're going to heaven right now. I'm kidding. It all starts today with our first banner. So if you take a peek at your first banner, it's inspired by all the things that God says, but especially here in our Revelation 21 text. So if you take a peek at your banner, and if you're online next week, we'll have these there, or you can come and visit it. But if you look at your banner, there are people doing all sorts of cool stuff. Look at that person at the very bottom. Now I know it's tiny. If it's too tiny for you to see what's happening at the very bottom, a trick that people can do is if you hold it closer to your face, it's bigger. Look. Wow. Or you can actually walk back to the banner right there. What's the person on the very bottom doing? Doing art. Isn't that awesome? How many of you wish you were better at art? I certainly do. One of my regrets. I wish I spent more time like drawing or like figuring out how to sketch people so that way I could be that person at Six Flags that has like 4 minutes to draw a cool picture of you and then sell it to you for $30. Could you imagine making $30 in 4 minutes? How many of you would consider that a raise? If your hand is not up, the ushers have noticed, and we will stop by and linger a little bit longer for you, because if $30 for 4 minutes is not a raise, you can be kingdom generous. This person is just doing art. Why? Because they don't have to be at work on Monday morning. Because they don't have to worry about someone go, you know what? I think that looks more like an orange and not so much a peach. You know, maybe you should go back to accounting. This person is just hanging out, and that's what happens. That's what is going to happen when Jesus shows up. How many of you would love to have no rush? How many of you would love to have an extra 10 minutes just to hang out? How cool is this going to be? No one is going to be there saying, you know what, you got to beat rush hour. In fact, we're going to be looking forward to rush hour because we'll have people to hang out with, and you'll have nothing to feel insecure about, and there will be infinite stories to hear, and you will have all the time in eternity. How amazing is that going to be? This is not metaphorical. This is guaranteed going to happen for you as long as we lean into Jesus. All right, then right above it, it's a little small on your drawing, but like I said, if it's hard to see, you can either get like really close or you can go check it out over there on the back wall. What are they doing? Can y'all see it? They're making s'mores because calories aren't going to count. Now, we don't know exactly how this is going to be. For me, if somebody were to give me a muffin, halfway through that muffin, I'm thinking, can I have another one? If somebody makes me some delicious like cookie, halfway through that cookie, I'm thinking, is there another one coming? No, but I know I shouldn't. Because if I eat a muffin, I got to go do something like 5 miles on a treadmill to burn it off. And some people enjoy that kind of thing. It's not my favorite thing. But in paradise, you'll actually be able to have like a s'more. And you're not going to feel compelled to like suck 30 more down. But even if you do, it's not going to count against you. And you know what else? Think about it, s'mores, all that graham crackery goodness, all that chocolate and all that marshmallow filled with sugar. After you have a s'more and your teeth are all sticky, what should you do? Have another one. Brush your teeth so you don't get a cavity. In paradise, no cavities. Now keep your hand down if you have ever had a cavity. Wouldn't it be nice to never have to worry about that again? Never have to worry about bad breath. No, I enjoy flossing and brushing my teeth, right? Because kind of a little neurotic about my teeth. I'll probably be the only person still flossing up there just for fun. But you'll never have to floss. You'll never have to brush. Because there's no loss. There's no decay. As you work your way up above the campfire, above the delicious, squishy, messy, sticky s'mores, what are they doing? Do you see it? Oh, everybody look at Donna. Everybody look at Donna in the very back. Show us. What were you showing us? There we go. Donna and I are going to be lifting weights. We're going to be throwing the deadlifts around, doing the Romanian deadlifts, doing the Bulgarian squats. We're going to be doing lunges. We're going to be doing lunges, and I'm not going to hate it. That's going to be great. Lifting weights, not because we have to, not because of like self-defense, not to show off, but just because your body is a temple and it is designed to grow. How many of you would love to be in a world in which you never have to fear an injury? Be honest, if you lived in a world in which you could not get injured, how many of you would be tempted to do stupid stuff? Just to experience it. I have a list of dumb things I want to do. But there it won't be dumb. There it'll be, God, look at what you allow us to experience, and I'm not going to splat on the ground when I hit it because of your grace. I will be praising God as I am free falling from the ceiling, the 1,380-mile high ceiling of paradise. And when I land on my feet, I'm going to say, oh, God's grace even allows us to have that much of a rush. I know I've talked about this before in sermons, but if you did something like that, it would take you 11 hours to touch the ground. Could you imagine free falling for 11 hours? How cool would that be? Above them, you see a whole bunch of people just standing around and talking, just catching up on stories. Above that, they have people playing a sport that some of you know, but others might not. Does anybody know that sport? Disc golf. How many of you like to do disc golf? I like the idea of disc golf, and then your disc goes into the brush, and you have to go get your disc again because it costs you like $10, and then you have 10 ticks sucking life out of your body and spitting Lyme disease into you, and then you're forever sick. I will actually be able to play disc golf without whining about ticks. And if you know me well, I whine about ticks quite a bit. Could you imagine how wonderful it'll be not hearing me whine about ticks? Wouldn't that just be an extra level? Above that, you got some zebras. How many of you have ever touched a zebra? I haven't either. Oh, hey, Vicky, you touched a zebra? Wow, all right. Like to just sneak up on it all ninja style, or like at a zoo? You did a safari and you jumped out and you tackled a zebra and you petted it? Oh, okay. Well, the live stream can't hear you. So the live stream did hear that you jumped out of a moving vehicle in Africa, tackled a zebra and petted it without its express written permission. Way to go, Vicky Lichtenegger. So if you're a zebra, I'd watch out for Vicky Lichtenegger if you're watching our live stream. How cool would it be to walk up to any wild animal and it will know it's safe? It will know that you are not there to eat it. It will know that you are not there to kill it. It will know that you are not there to steal it. It will know that you are not there to take its food. And on the meat eater side, you will be able to walk up to it knowing that it knows you are not food. Now, when you look at the Garden of Eden, Eve is talking to a serpent. And it's not like a serpent goes, hey. And Eve goes, ah, a talking snake, Adam, kill it. The serpent goes, hey. And Eve goes, hello. it apparently was not odd for animals to talk. So if you're going to have a conversation with a zebra or any of the other things that Vicky petted on a safari, lions, giraffes, anacondas, great white sharks, blue whales, everything else that Vicky petted on that safari, could you imagine having a conversation with it? How cool would that be? Imagine their voices and what the things they're going to talk about. Dogs will still say, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. And cats will probably still, well, they'll probably still be cats. Now, if you look at the far left, it's just white. It kind of looks like part of the picture is missing. Because that part is going to be a solid pearl. It is going to be a solid pearl. That's the door. And the wall is going to be made out of jasper. Now, if you've been around Zion for a long time, you've already heard me say this. So hear this as an opportunity for you to rehearse it if you ever need to explain it to somebody else. If you're new to Zion, I invite you to take a peek at our stained glass windows over here. Live stream, or if you can kind of angle it over there to maybe see a little bit of our stained glass windows. Our stained glass windows are all sorts of colors of the visible spectrum, all the colors of the rainbow, all mixed up. Because in paradise, the walls are going to look similar to that, jasper walls. Jasper comes in every color, in every combination of colors. There is red jasper, there is yellow jasper, there is blue jasper, a lot of blue jasper. There is green jasper, there is orange jasper, there's green. There's also combinations that come in every pattern. So you can, based on the minerals in the soil. So you can actually get red and blue jasper like swirled. You can get green and yellow jasper speckled. You can get purple jasper with green stripes and layering. It comes in every color. What that means is the walls of paradise, 1,380 miles tall, 1,380 miles long, 1,380 miles from side to side. They're going to be like God took a rainbow, shoved it in a blender, and hit pulse 3 times. All mixed up. There'll be parts that are red, parts that are blue, parts that are green. Rainbows. Every part of these giant walls are going to be different, especially since they're like 200 feet thick. And in these jasper walls, there will be 12 gates, a single pearl. Each gate is a single pearl. Now, when it says gate, it doesn't mean like the door part. It means the around part, the thresholds. There will be a tunnel through each of these 200-foot wide pearls. And it will never be closed. That is not our finish line. Right? When we go to funerals, we'll hear this poem sometimes about the dash, like it's how you lived your dash, right? The dash is important. And as important as it is, this is just a waiting room. This is the warm-up chamber. This is the turf where we stretch before we go do the real activity. This life is very short compared to forever, our forever home. This life is the waiting room. And that pearly gate is the real starting line. The starting line for how God has always wanted you to be with him, with his people, petting zebras, doing art, hanging out, eating s'mores, enjoying him, free from every sort of pain and affliction and harm. We're in the waiting room. And it makes sense when you pay attention to this as a waiting room. Because in the waiting room, it's okay to have a chair that wobbles. Because you're not there for the waiting room. In the waiting room, it's okay if it's a little cold, if it's a little hot. In the waiting room, it's okay if you're by somebody who's a little stinky. In the waiting room, it's okay if you're by somebody that is talking too loud on their phone or maybe has some gastrointestinal stinky issues. In the waiting room, it's okay if the receptionist or another person in the waiting room is a little snarky. You don't expect the doctor to come out and baseball bat everybody and smash people with the hammer of his righteous judgment, everybody that isn't your cup of tea in the waiting room, because you're not there for the waiting room. So it's okay for things in this life to not go great. It's okay for things in this life to not be perfect. It's okay for things in this life to not be our cup of tea or how we would magically write the script, because this is just the waiting room. When we die, that's not the finish line. That's the starting line. And you will physically be there. So one day, you'll reach out. You and I will both reach out with your hand and touch the inside of a pearl that God hollowed out for you to welcome you into paradise. Now, when you get to that pearly gate, there will be no St. Peter or Saint anybody else standing there and saying, why should I let you in? The Bible is very clear about this. At every one of those 12 gates, there will be an angel stationed there, not to ask you, why should I let you in? But as the greeter, like the finest of all Walmart greeters, to stand there and say, welcome to Walmart. Welcome to what God has always had in mind for you. Welcome to your forever home. So this banner is not just a starting line for this conversation. This banner is not just a starting line for an opportunity to talk about paradise. The pearly gates, that's our starting line. We're in the waiting room. And things will happen that we don't like. Things will not be as comfortable as we like. But this is not forever. But when that pearly gate is set up, and the 11 just like it, the starting line will be established. And an angel will call you by name. Bill, welcome home. Kay, welcome home. Christina, Vicky, Larry, Russ, Peggy, welcome home. It's our starting line. So we slug it out. We get through this. We enjoy the fun parts. We deal with the bad parts. But one day, you'll reach out and you'll feel the inside of a pearl that God hollowed out by going to the cross and coming out of that nasty hole in the ground, the tomb, hollowing out to make it your and my guarantee forever. At the end of every one of our conversations, give each other a little bit of space to have our own conversations with God. Wherever that needs to go, let it go. Maybe you need to have a conversation with God. Sorry, I'm so mad that the chair in my waiting room is wobbly, that this person is making my waiting room experience bad. Help me get to that starting line. Maybe it's just my life is hellish. Let me think more about heaven. Maybe it needs to go somewhere totally else. Wherever it needs to go, this is your time. This is your moment. This is your moment with God.